Hey, Shalom. All praise and glory goes into Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, Shem Rachakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel, men, women, and children. Shalom. All right, and it's going to be a brief lesson, the Lord willing, edifying unto the elect remnant. As you can see here on the screen, all right, I got it queued up. Iran and U.S. trade strikes, shattering brief lull and fighting. All right, and the Middle East is on fire right now. Has been for a minute over the past few years. Recently, it's been bombings between Iran and U.S., which I did a brief. Well, I mentioned in live the other day that the raging boars of Carmania would play a major part in the destruction of America. All right, the scriptures refer to them as Syria. But nonetheless, all nations, according to prophecy, will turn on America as pursuant to the book of Revelation 17, the book of Obadiah. All right, and yeah, just a quick update about what's going on. It says Iran has launched multiple ballistic missiles in an attempted surprise attack on American forces in Middle East. The U.S. military said shattering a lull in the fighting. All right, so the missiles were intercepted. All right, Saudi Arabian forces and U.S. military meanwhile struck Iran-aligned terrorists in Iraq in retaliation for Iran-directed drone attacks. Okay, so it's live in the earth. All right. Scripture said in the book of Isaiah 13, the Lord of hosts mustered the battle. And it's about that time. A draft is coming, all right, which is going to be a shortage of men upon America. A famine is going to come, lack of resources, and all these things are happening for the sake of prophecy taking place. All right, so yeah, this is what time we're in. We're in the time of World War III, the third war approaching quickly. Without further ado, let's get some scriptures. All right, bear with me. I'm taking a little walk. All right, so this is Joel 2, verse 20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up." See? So let me see. Let me start off. Joel 2 and 20 says, "But I will remove far from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things." So that northern army is the U.S. military, all right, or the American army. They're going to be driven to the Middle Eastern region to be destroyed by Yahweh Shah Mashiach, all right, according to the book of 2nd Ezra 13 chapter, alongside these other nations' military, all right. Let's go to the next precept. And we're near. This is something that's near coming quickly. All right, let's go to Isaiah 34 real quick. It's an infamous scripture. We all read a lot. All right, in this prophecy. All right, Isaiah 34 and 1. "Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood." You see, that's what's going to happen to these armies. All right, they're going to be driven to that Middle Eastern region, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, and they're going to be made a sacrifice by Yahweh Shai. They're going to war against each other. All right, according to the prophecy, and they're going to, eventually turn from warring against each other to fight at one. Turn from fighting one another to fight Yahweh Shah. All right, and they're going to be dismayed. They're going to be, you know, lacking the courage to fight against Yahweh Shah, but yet he's going to make them fight against him so he can become victorious. All right, let's go to the next scripture. Matter of fact, let's read this context. I Googled it. It says Gog and Magog, Isaiah 34. It says Isaiah 34 serves as a universal divine summons for all nations to listen to an upcoming judgment. And we're foretelling of that right now. All right, this foresaid judgment to take place upon all nations. All right, let me sit down right here. Cool little spot. All right, Isaiah 34 in verse 1, the message, the Most High Yahweh announces a sweeping judgment and wrath against all hostile nations and their armies, the heathen. All right, the day of the Lord is a time of the heathen. Let's grab that. All right. Ezekiel 30 and 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah power, how ye woe worth the day, for the day of the Lord, for the day is near, even the day of the Lord is near, a cloudy day. It shall be a time of the heathen. All right. You see, it shall be a time of the heathen. So this is the time of the heathen paying, all right, upon the earth. And what are the heathen going to pay? Their military might, their corner strength is going to be destroyed. This is their pride, all right, in the earth. And the earth is their military might, their carnality. The people of the nations boast in the armies, all right. They look to that to be their sole protector, all right. In religion second. See, let me scroll. This is let's get Joel 3 and 2. What's up, you all right?
Yeah, what's up, man?
You all right, bro?
Yeah.
What's up? Be safe out here, man.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing something. I'm gonna get with you in a minute. This is there's some. This is let me, wow, there ain't nothing to say. This is Joel 3 and verse 1. It says, For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, you see. And Gog and Magog plays a major role in that, and them being Russia. They're going to be a guard unto the smaller nations, though all nations possess military might. All right. You know, the big dogs are going to be, you know, Russia, China, US, all right, Iran, and these various nations that have access to different resources in the earth, all right, and different various nuclear weapons capability to shake things up, all right. But all nations are going to play a part in the war, all right. Let's cross the street. Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations, will bring them to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people. People of the Lord is Israel. All right. It said, For my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, part of my land. All right. So this is a brief lesson going into, you know, the Middle East being on fire. Lord willing, this is edifying. All praise, honor, and glory goes into Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Hakwadash, peace and blessings unto the elect. To the next lesson, Shalom.